I'll never forget the night my whole world turned into a bad episode of suburban warfare. Picture this: 35 acres of Georgia clay, 2 greenhouses, a workshop I built with leftover army steel, and a view of the lake so still you could hear your own heart beating. I bought that land thinking I'd left the noise behind, After 21 years as an army construction engineer, hell, after a roadside bomb decided my service was done, peace and quiet was worth more than gold. Suburban drama? HOA rules. Not for me. I thought I was buying a little slice of freedom. Turns out, I'd landed the lottery in more ways than one. That plot, never annexed into Aspen Glen's HOA. No dues, no pastel paint charts, no Karen knocking at my door about community standards. My neighbors mostly kept to themselves. Retirees who waved from their porches, left you alone. Except not all of them. And then came Karen Longbrook, queen of the HOA, marching up in her pearl button blouse, clipboard in hand, like she was about to sell me $1 million listing. Only she was selling rules I never asked for. I'll give her this: the first time she knocked on my workshop door, she was polite. Fake as a $3 bill, but polite. "We're so glad to have someone contributing to the neighborhood aesthetic," she said. I almost laughed. What, my field tested irrigation rig and a patch of kale suddenly counted as landscaping? She eyed my bees with this wrinkled-up frown and asked, "Are those regulated?" Like I was running a black market out of a beehive. Then she starts in about community cohesion. Maybe I'd like to join the HOA. Keep things simple, set expectations. That's when I pointed to the rusted gate with the big private property sign. "Karen," I said, "this land's never been under HOA. Wasn't when I bought it, won't be now." Her eyes got sharp. "We take pride in ensuring all properties in view maintain a certain standard," she said, with a smile that belonged in a used car lot. I let her words hang there like bad weather. She left, and I figured, maybe that's it. But then the letters started. First, a friendly note shoved in my mailbox. Not mailed, mind you, just stuffed in, telling me my equipment was violating the community's visual harmony policy. Next, a formal envelope with the HOA crest, demanding I cease all unapproved agricultural activity and relocate my livestock. I laughed so hard I nearly dropped the letter. I don't own livestock. I keep bees. That's it. So I sent a picture of me, shirtless, next to a hive, middle finger up, and the caption, "Not livestock. Sincerely, Roy." That's when things escalated. Complaints about noise from my solar water pump, unauthorized construction, meaning my new greenhouse wing, even an environmental hazard claim. That one made me spit coffee. She meant the bees. But none of it prepared me for what came. Next, Friday night, just past dusk, I spot headlights creeping along the edge of my field. Some big luxury SUV crawling through the tree-line. At first, I figured it was a lost city slicker. GPS gone wild. But the next night, the SUV's back, moving slower, windows cracked, spotlights sweeping across my rows like they're searching for raccoons. By the fourth night, there's no question. It's Karen, in her Land Rover, rolling slow, talking into a radio, playing golf course inspector on my land. She parked inside the trees, walked the perimeter, talking in her clipped voice. Hill Cave, these types always do. Next morning, I found tire tracks right through my kale. She wasn't snooping. She was trespassing. Now, I hadn't called the cops yet. Part of me thought it was a bluff. Maybe she'd get bored. But folks like Karen don't get bored. They double down. So I started keeping notes. Days, times, tire marks, busted posts, everything logged in my field notebook. That's when Paul showed up, another HOA board member, early 40s, khakis and tactical boots, looking like a substitute teacher at a militia camp. "Hey Roy," he calls, hands up. "I'm not here to stir anything up. Just, not everyone in the HOA is like Karen." Didn't open the gate, just nodded. He left a business card. I kept it, but didn't use it. Looking back, anyone that eager to play both sides isn't your friend. He's a leak with legs. The tire tracks got worse. Grooves cutting through the field, snapped irrigation pipes, dented bee boxes. The kind of damage that takes intention. No more hoping this would blow over. I went to town, bought trail cameras with infrared, and spent the night wiring the perimeter. One by the back fence, another by the greenhouse, one at the hives. Each with a night vision sensor. Karen wouldn't see him. 2 nights of nothing. Me, shotgun on the porch, listening to crickets and wind, half hoping I was being paranoid. Third night, my phone goes off. Camera 2, motion detected. There she was, Karen's Land Rover, headlights off, but the high beams sweeping my greenhouses. Her voice over the radio, "I'm here now." He still hasn't fenced it. The irrigation setup's a mess. Once I file this, he'll fold. I save the clip, let the anger burn slow and deep, the way the army teaches you. Next morning, I called the sheriff's office. Gave them the footage. 2 deputies showed up, one older, one so green he looked like he'd never been in a mud pit. Watched the video, looked at each other, shrugged. Well, Mr. Miller, looks like Mrs. Longbrook was maybe just doing a neighborhood inspection. Best to let it slide. I about lost it. On private farmland at midnight? She's well connected, he said. A warning goes further. Then a report. They didn't even take the flash drive. That word they had must have been "don't get caught," because 2 nights later, I catch her again. Different angle, same truck, same radio. She didn't stop, drove straight through the lower field, over my drainage trench, laughing as she called someone, probably Paul. The next day, Paul shows up again, all small talk and sympathy. Says Karen's telling the board my bees are dangerous, a threat to kids. She's talking about filing an environmental complaint. I laughed. The only thing leaking is groundwater. He snaps a picture of my irrigation line when he thinks I'm not looking. I don't say a word. That night, reviewing the footage, I see Karen again, but she's not alone. In the passenger seat, Paul, pointing at the hives. That did it. I didn't sleep, just walked the perimeter, flashlight in hand, checking every post, every shadow. Morning after, state vehicles roll up, Georgia Department of Agricultural Control. 3 inspectors, government plates. Mr. Miller? Depends who's asking. They had a whole list. Ecological violations, chemical runoff, unregulated equipment. I gave him the grand tour. Licensed greenhouses, custom irrigation, state-certified hives. They were impressed, actually. This is a model, one of them said. Best we've seen outside a university. Before they left, the lead inspector muttered, "This whole thing reeks of harassment. Keep an eye on that neighbor." I grinned. I got cameras. That evening, Paul comes by again, nervous this time. Heard the state loved it. Do I look like I'm laughing? He mutters about Karen telling everyone the bees attack joggers, my runoff poisoned the lake. Why's a guy who wants to help keep showing up before the gossip breaks? He stammers, "Just keeping you in the loop." Yeah, right. Next day, Karen goes nuclear, flyers on bulletin boards, in mailboxes, one taped to my fence. Local farm under investigation for violations. Of course, she didn't mention the inspectors left smiling, asked me to speak at their conference. That evening, the department posted a glowing review of my farm online. Private innovation in sustainable farming. I printed it, taped it right over her flyer with a Sharpie. Nice try. By noon, one of the HOA folks tore down her flyer, not mine. I didn't celebrate yet. Instead, I built the fence. Steel posts, concrete footers, galvanized mesh, motion-triggered lights, aluminum, surveillance in use, trespass equals civil action, signs every 20 feet. Even the neighbors watched, cautious. Most people freeze when someone actually enforces a boundary. End of the week, the farm looked like a military outpost. Bees moved closer to the fence. A new sign, live apiary. Approach at your own risk. And then I lawyered up. Emma Rogers. She looked like she could bankrupt an HOA in her sleep. Went through the footage, damage, receipts. We filed a civil suit. Trespassing, property damage, malicious interference. Total damages? Just under $48,000. We also filed a complaint with the state, highlighting harassment and false reports. Karen never responded, but Paul showed up again. You went all out with that fence. Bit extreme, don't you think? Not as extreme as tire tracks through my irrigation. He warns me, lawsuit will stir things up. Maybe let the HOA mediate before it gets ugly. Funny, I said. That's what people say before they ride shotgun for the queen. He blinked, but didn't deny it. That night, the perimeter lights snapped on, Karen's Land Rover, creeping along the fence. But this time, my bees had enough. The vibrations, the heat, whatever, they swarmed. She panicked, hit reverse, slammed into the fence with a sick crunch. I stood there, just watching the scene. She was stuck, wheels spinning in clay, headlights dying. I got my phone out, filmed everything. Miss Longbrook, you are trespassing. You've damaged my property. 3 cameras recording. Footage is live-streamed. Please step out. She cracked the window, voice shrill. This is entrapment. You can't bait someone. With bees. I didn't bait anyone. You drove here. The bees live here. You don't. She got out, shaking with anger, heels caked in mud. 10 minutes later, deputies showed up, different ones this time. Young, by the book. They saw the footage, took statements. Karen ranted about conspiracy and weaponized livestock. They called a tow truck. Land Rover got dragged out, front end wrecked. Karen glared like I'd shot her dog. In court, it was almost boring. No marble, no drama, just stacked paperwork and Emma quietly wrecking their arguments. She laid it all out. Deed, video, damage. Glowing inspection report. And, cherry on top, leaked HOA emails from Paul, showing Karen's plan to keep up the pressure and use the bees as psychological warfare. It was a campaign, not oversight. The judge ruled, Karen liable for trespass, property damage, interference, $112,000 in damages, and a 6-month HOA suspension. Aspen Glen exploded. Meetings turned into public trials. Residents revolted. Paul resigned after someone egged his house. Karen's apologies fell flat. Nobody showed up to her trust-rebuilding forum, except a guy in a bee costume holding a sign. Stung by the truth. The papers ran wild. HOA president accused of terrorizing neighbor's farm. Karen's husband listed their house. Only time I saw her since was in the grocery parking lot. She pretended I was invisible. Emma filed a second suit for defamation. Her complaints cost me contracts, delayed my product line. That'll take a while, but I can wait. I've waited through worse. A couple months later, grass grew back, bees thrived. I added another greenhouse wing, finally painted the barn, because I wanted to. Kept the fence. People started stopping by, neighbors, tourists, even school kids on field trips. The local paper called it Farmer Fights Back. I gave tours, showed off the bees, the fence, told them, boundaries matter. Some kid asked if the bees ever chased bad people off. I told him, only the ones who need it. The parents laughed harder than the kid. The new sign out front became a favorite, burned letters in cedar. This land belongs to bees. Farmers and the law. Everyone else, kindly don't. Underneath? P.S. No HOA. So tell me, what would you have done? Draw your own line in the dirt, or let him keep rolling through your life. Drop your stories, your worst HOA nightmares, in the comments. I'm all ears, and so are the bees.